Hi guys, I'm going to read some cards today. First one I'm going to read, I think, is just start with the Rider deck. And I'd like to read the cards for the future of the new Royal Baby, I guess not Royal Baby, Meghan and Harry's new little girl, Lilibet. I think that's a cute name. I guess it's one of the nicknames the Queen herself uses for Elizabeth. You know what that reminds me of, this weird thing? You guys ever see that show long time ago? I think it was in the 80s or maybe the early 90s. It was called V, and it was about these alien reptiles that came down to Earth and infiltrated the planet. I never really watched it too much. I think when I was like catching an episode, they had a little baby that was half alien and half human. And if I'm not mistaken, they called her Lizabeth, like Lizabeth or something like that. That was it. Couldn't do it. Anyway, little bit. Lilibet. As you notice, I'm not putting a signifier down for her because I just don't feel like she needs one. Anyway, still haven't had my hand surgery. That's not scheduled to the end of the month. And that's why I'm having a little bit of a hard time shuffling. Hopefully it won't be as bad later. Okay. Let's see just give me a general life for her. Let's see how that little girl's gonna do in life. This way. I hope you can see everything. As you notice, the purple cloth is gone, so nothing slides off. You're just going to have to put up with the squares, and if they're crooked on my film. Well, there's Daddy. And there's Mommy. How do you like that? At least she's going to have good family support. Hopefully it stays that way, because we know that in our last reading with her parents, they stayed together, but it wasn't really that that friendly. Let me pull back a little here. It wasn't really that harmonious, and that could be true here too, because of course they're not exactly in the same suit. And anyway, let's go see. Okay, that could be her little brother supporting her too. I mean, her older brother supporting her too. I'm going to lay these out, and then we're going to read them. I like to lay things out, at least on the standard. Okay. I always do that, and I don't have enough room. I'll just put these over here. Okay. Now, if you haven't seen me read before, I learned to read cards when I was very young, just under 10 years old. And I learned to read them from a woman who learned to read them in her family. So I don't necessarily read them the way everyone does, and I don't read them the way the little booklet tells you to read them. So if I read them oddly, you know, the way, not exactly the way you read them, then I'm really sorry about that. So what I see here is this little girl, as she grows up, obviously she's going to have to do a little fighting for her identity. She's going to deal a lot with her identity, with this idea of you know, her idea of who she is. Is she this, in her mind, she's going to have this in her core, this idea of, am I, you know, my parent, you know, here my parents are, my father is this prince, my mother is this person who is this beautiful, you know, person who could have been a princess or a duchess, rather. She'd never be a princess, she'd be a duchess, but still, you know, and she has this very rich, wonderful family, but she'll feel like her destiny is sort of like, I could have been a princess, but I'm not because of what my parents did. There's going to be this sense as she grows up that, what a bummer. You know, I mean, it's not going to be a horrible thing for her. It's not going to be awful, but she's going to feel like, I didn't have this choice to make. They made it for me. But it's not going to be that bad because, and I think this will be her uncle and not her grandfather. She's going to get an offer and she's going to have to make a decision. The star card is often a card of, it's an interesting card because especially when we have the Wheel of Fortune here, because the star card, what we're looking at is we're looking at a woman who's trying to fill up a pond with water, and she's also trying to pour the water on the sand or on the grass. So what she really is doing is she wasting water? Is she not wasting water? You have to think about this. Is she watering plants or is she just losing it in the sand? I'm sorry, I ate something I was allergic to earlier. And let me see what we have for numbers here. And so here's her, this is her, I want to get back with my heritage. I want to get back into the royal family. Eventually she does do it. Eventually she does end up becoming a princess. And she will someday get back into the royal family. Someday she will get back into her title. Even if her parents don't get back their title, even if her father doesn't get back in his title, she will by hook or crook, if you will. A time will come where she will get back into her title, probably through her uncle. And it's going to cause some issues, but it's not going to be a big deal. Let's find out. I'm going to cap it and find out. Fascinating. Huh. Okay, Queen of Swords. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is really interesting. Now, we can read this two different ways. This can be read in a way that would say that Harry is going to end up getting back with his family and with or without Meghan, but he's going to make a resolution with his family, and that's how she's going to get back in. I don't know when this would be, but this card, the Empress, is the ultra female card. It's often the card of pregnancy, but reversed like this, it can mean, especially in that position, it could mean that this intense female energy can come in and take over this. And that could very well be the influence of this daughter. Now, it wouldn't be soon. It really wouldn't be soon. We're looking 10 years, okay? I'm looking at by the time she's 10 years old, okay? 7 to 10 years old is what I'm looking at, all right? She's going to develop a very sweet demeanor, and she's going to really be like very sweet girl, and she's going to really remind, and I think it's going to be the British public here. She's going to be the princess of their, maybe I don't know if she's going to look like her grandmother. I don't know what it's going to be, if she's going to look like Diana. I don't know if she's going to act like her. I don't know if her mother's, Meghan's going to dress her that way to try to get her, favor from the public. But there's going to be some difficulty, and I think, let's see who that difficulty's with. Oh, I see. That's interesting. That's where the difficulty is. The difficulty is that she's going to want to be, you know, she's going to want to be part of the royal family. They're going to offer her, well, you know, come back, be part of the royal family. She is going to help reunite and reinvigorate the royal family. She's going to be loved by the public. She's going to be loved by the you know, by the royals. And even if she grows up in the United States, they're going to want to have her back. And she's going to want to go back. She's going to love it. They're not going to want to let her go back. You see, they're going to want to keep her like, this is where you belong. You're in America. This is where it's good. We stay here. We don't go back there. England's bad. London's bad. You know, her father's going to say, we have, but they're going to be like, this is where you belong. And she's going to feel happy she's going to be happy and content when she's there. She's going to feel like she's part of this dynasty, and he's going to really stop that. And particularly, she's going to stop that. And because if you line this up, if you line the tower straight, he's very much she doesn't like it, but he doesn't. She's convinced him. He has bad memories there, but she's convinced him that his bad memories are a lot worse. I'd like to do a different reading. I'm gonna. These are nice cards. Very sweet. I use these a lot when we pull a card. Well, maybe not as, maybe, you know what I like to use is, I like to use them all. Depends on which ones want me to use them. So let's pull another one. Sorry about the ahs and oohs. I gotta do them this way. My hand hurts. One more for a little bit. Lilibet. I'm just going to make this a simple corner and center spread. What the hell? Okay, corner center spread. These are always sticky. You know, these aren't coated, so they're very sticky. And right now my eyes, I have eyes that go sort of like lazy eyes on me once in a while. I hate the fact that these aren't coated. Actually, that one goes here. Gotta check, make sure I only got one. Okay, so in the corner spread, you always read them right side up. Okay, I'm gonna bring these up here. Yeah, so you see, she has a really good future ahead of her. This kid is going to live a charmed life. She really is. Because what we have here is we have the directions of her life, okay? And the directions of her life, north, south, east, west, up, down, right, you know, up, down, center, whatever. And they are sort of birth, childhood, adulthood, death type of things, old age to death. And what she has here, very powerful cards. In her center is the Earth School, meaning that she really is here because she's supposed to be here. She's here to learn, she's here to evolve, she's here to experience. There's no doubt about it. She's not someone who will grow up saying, I don't know why I'm here. Why did God put me here? I wonder, you know, what life is all about. You know, she's not one of those people. From the day she took her first breath to the day she takes her last breath, she's gonna be like, yeah, this is great. I know why I'm here. I know what it's all about. She's going to be one of those people who gets it, okay? And her first breath, because we start here, we go around. It's not like a clock. It starts at the bottom and goes. It doesn't start like over here and go. Her first breath is the breath of the cosmos. So that means like she came in from the space, from sky. The breath of the cosmos is a triangle card, and triangles are the perfect shape of completion. It's like the man, the woman, and the child they create. And some people's it's like that, like mine, it's like the children. Anyway, the breath of the cosmos is the breath of life, is the breath of creation, is the breath of the universe. So it's like this child has all the energy of everything brought into the earth experience, which is cool. Now this would be her young, that was her childhood. This is going to be her after childhood to the point where she's really an adult. So let's say 12 years old to like 20 years old, thereabouts. And this is your life is a canvas. I mean, this kid's blessed, okay? Your life is a canvas, meaning that as she goes through her tweeny years up to her adult years, say 20, 25, everything's beautiful. Everything is gorgeous. She's gonna have the whole world to paint on. The whole world. I mean, it's not even gonna be because she has money. If this kid were born in a house, if this same spirit, the same soul were born in a house that was an apartment in a bad part of town, this child would still have these qualities. They'd just be expressed in a different way. Because, I mean, this child, of course, if she can express it in any way money can buy. But now as a tweenie to, about adulthood, wherever you would think real adulthood would start. Like with one of my kids, she was an adult by the time, my husband says by the time she was 3. But some children become adults sooner than others. Some of them, I have one who I swear to God she's not going to be an adult until she's 65. Anyway, that period of time, the world is her canvas. When she's that age, she will find beauty everywhere. She will make beauty with everything. She will be a joy to be around because everything to her will be a beautiful thing. Now, from her adulthood to her time where she becomes an older person, what they would call in England, I guess, a pensioner. And this is the star family. Now that means the family of energy, the family of joining, the family of being connected with the soul. Depending on what your beliefs are, it could be this family that connects with the energy of all the other planets and the people on them, if you believe that. It can be and stars are far away and sparkle, and we see the sparkling. So that is like connecting to everyone else. The beauty that you have can sparkle out and connect to the other sparkles. So as an adult, she's going to bring light to other people, and she's going to attract in that light. So she has that going for her too. And then as she gets older and goes into her old age, or what we might call like a retirement age, she has the blue flame. And so the blue flame is, well, it can be many things, but in old age, the blue flame would be the attraction of love and peace, calm, the ability to bring a spiritual sense to things, and the ability to bring a beautiful, beautiful ending of life in grace and beauty. And so this child has it made. Really, really has it made. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and see you soon. Love ya.